This video is going to be completely unscripted, so there's probably gonna be a lot of cuts in between what I say and things like that. But it is currently 12:49 a.m. It is August 13th of 2023, and Geometry Dash today turns 10 years old. I don't even know where to start really with this video. I just kind of wanted to make it just basically thanking everyone and the game for existing. This is the only or one of the few, I shouldn't say the only, but I'd say one of the few games that I have played consistently throughout basically close to over half of my life. Or I should say close to half of my life. As a staple thing that I come home and I do and I enjoy consuming content for. I enjoy just being in the community-ish with it, and things like that. There is something that no other game can capture that GD can, between its rhythmic feel and its platformer, like auto-scroller type thing. There's just like, from a playing perspective, how nervous I get, the rush of nervousness and the triumph of beating something difficult is just an unmatched feeling, honestly, from any other achievements I get, for the most part. I even if I do something really cool in other games, I feel like I blow it off much easier than in GD, where I'm just completely amazed at my own ability. And in general, I should say that, like, through the eyes of the playing perspective, GD taught me kind of how to persevere with a lot of things in life, even if you feel like you're gonna quit. I learned so much of that life skill because of GD. And conversely, I widened my appreciation for artistic mediums because I was a player. And through that, I also widened my appreciation for a lot of different types of music. Now, I wouldn't say GD was the primary reason for that, but it helped to shape me into that type of person. It was the catalyst. GD was the catalyst for everything. GD was the catalyst for me having basically an online presence at all, outside of just using Discord to talk to some of my friends in high school. I would have never... I don't even know what I would be doing right now with my life and the way I would interact with others and the way I would spend all of my time if I didn't. And this is just like, even if I kept playing the game, right? And for some reason I wasn't in the community with it. Even though the game indirectly made me part of the community and gave me all of my amazing online friends. It was the general catalyst for every single friend I have in and outside of the game. I don't think I would have met any of my friends that I have that aren't GD online friends if I didn't play GD first and make those online friends, because I wouldn't have had any way to know how to get into communities. I wouldn't have had any way to make smaller connections and then branch out. I can't say for certain that every single case would have been like that, but it would probably be very similar. So, like, all the amazing people I've met within the community, and I could thank so many people, especially, you know, my closest friends in Team Ball, but there's so many people I could thank that just, and even people that indirectly influenced me as a player and a creator. The people that I admire as players and creators outside of my friends that have also helped me along the way. And I mean, that's just everything I can say from just some of the early years of me growing up and playing the game. I learned how to communicate online, and I learned in general how to communicate a bit better with others. I got more friends. I learned how to persevere. And I just found this unmatchable feeling with being able to beat difficult levels that I'm still addicted to today, that sense of self-improvement with everything. And it all started with GD. As of the last and I guess maybe somewhat 4, but maybe mainly in the last 3 years, especially since mid 2020, as I transitioned from player to creator, I discovered the gameplay community. And not to say that I don't love decorated levels, and I could talk about that, I could rant about that even, but the gameplay community and making gameplay as a whole opened my eyes to a creative outlet that I've never ever in my life found anywhere else. There's nothing like being sort of a veteran of the game, even if I'm not the best player, even if I am a decent player, and being able to translate all of your ideas into something that represents a song, not only through actual gameplay, but with slight visuals as well. For people who can't decorate, and or for people who just want to get that old style feel of what the game used to be like, or what the where at points where now we have full decoration to represent art, which is amazing. At one point it was just concepts, and sometimes those concepts are amazing. Sometimes those concepts remind you of why you got into the game in the first place, because you saw that potential through it, you understood it. That's just, I mean, it's just amazing. I am a videographer and motion graphics artist. I work in that kind of field, and I discovered my love of editing videos through editing GD videos and funny moments, mainly when I would have funny moments with friends and things like that, which once again I met those friends through GD, and I made videos through GD, like my year anniversary videos that we used to do all the time. That was kind of a trend at that point around early 2.1. All those things were creative outlets for me. I always thought I wasn't a creative person, but I realized I just hadn't found my creative outlet yet. And when I saw video editing through GD, and then conversely, as I grew up and became a gameplay creator, then I found it through gameplay creation and song representation through visuals in GD. It's just one of those things that made me realize that I can be a creative person, that I am a creative person. It's just I hadn't found what I loved yet. And I can certainly say, after 10 years of playing this game, or basically 9, and around 8 of them being active years, that I am just so eternally grateful for everything this game has done for my life. It is hard to even put it into words. That's why this being unscripted is like a double-edged sword, because it is like genuinely hard to put into words how much I appreciate the existence of this $4 game. I have an endless amount of memories from every point of me playing this game. Every single point of me playing this game. From when I was an early on player playing mobile easy demons when they were a struggle for me, to where I was slightly improving to when I got 144 hertz and I played on PC, and I could play High Life. I could play something with a unused song, and I grinded Windy Landscape for so long, and the feeling of beating that was just amazing. From when I played on tablet, to when I played on controller, to when I switched to mouse, to now me being on keyboard. I've gone through it all. And then me just meeting my communities of friends, from Happy and Surflix early on, to then Overgrowth and Evan and Haunters, like all in Team Va, and of course just me meeting even more people through connections from those people. It is incredible. I have 3,000 hours on Geometry Dash, and even though that includes AFK hours, I still think the amount of impacted hours of my life because of Geometry Dash is well over that number. Just because of a $4 game that was essentially at one point an impossible game, quote-unquote ripoff. But somehow other people understood exactly what I found amazing in this game. And they push those limits just like I would one day too. And I am so eternally grateful for everyone in the community that did that. From the early community to the community as it's developed now, where we can have our own niches that we're a part of. And I love my niche, but I also appreciate that every other one I've delved into, or every other one that I've been introduced to as part of the community, even when they didn't exist, even when gameplay creators weren't a thing, it was just making levels, and it was just beating hard levels, and it was just Cataclysm and Bloodbath and the forums list and High Life, and it's just I'm so eternally grateful for everything this game has done for my life. I don't know how many times I've said that. It's 1 in, and I'm just, regardless of what happens tomorrow, we've lived with 2.1 for 7 years, and while it's been hard, a huge shout out to every modder this game has ever had for saving this game. The community, once again, and this goes into the modding community, has single-handedly improved this game and given it the updates it needed when RobTop wasn't there to make them. And you guys kept us alive. And you guys made the experience not only alive for us, but better. And I literally came back to the game because of Mega Hack existing. Mega Hack V6 basically existing, because at one point I had quit just because the game, not because I wanted to quit, but because the game felt non-functional. And I realized, I thought I was growing out of Geometry Dash. I thought that was it. I thought I was done. I'm not a kid anymore. Or I'm too old for this. And then I just realized, no, I had so much more to learn. It was just that I needed the game to work again. And the moment it worked again, it was completely curtains. I was back, I was hooked, and I've been hooked ever since. And I regret nothing. I regret not a single moment I've spent on this game. Okay, maybe I have a little, maybe I have for some levels a little bit, but the creative outlet that this game is unmatched for anything else. I don't care what anyone says. Geometry Dash is one of the coolest games that has ever existed, and it is one of the simplest yet most beautifully complicated accidents of an amazing community that we've had. And whether or not RobTop was planning on releasing on 2.2 tomorrow, like, I get back to my original point I made about a minute ago, we've lived so long without the game having any updates. It honestly doesn't even need them, because we would always be playing. Even if the game never got an update, I'll always be here. I'll always be playing Geometry Dash, because there's an endless possibility with every single moment I play the game. And even if, sure, an update would make it more interesting, it would never get old now. And if there is an update, I'm excited to see the future of the game. So, thank you to the modding community, the gameplay creating community, the old player community, Extreme Demons, and people who made Easy Demons, old creators, Serponge, JF, Funny Game, Woogie, Laser Blitz, Subwoofer, just all of the... I started listing a bunch of creators, but especially some of the older ones there. Thank you for the legacy that you've created this game, and thank you just for me not being afraid to talk about Geometry Dash anymore, because I know in my heart that no matter what people think of it is such a cool game. There's so much to it, and people would never understand unless they got into the community. And that's the big word. That's it. It's community. I'm so amazingly grateful. I've said it again. For this game and this community, and for RobTop for creating it, and for everybody else for pushing it. And I've been ranting for 15 minutes now, and I feel like I could talk about a million other things, like my favorite levels in the game, like Well Rested and Dem Travel, to my favorite layouts like Juliet and Sound Chimera, and all these other amazing expressions of creativity, and all of my amazing friends in Team Baw, and extended from that in every other game I've gotten into because of Geometry Dash, like Osu. It all stemmed from Geometry Dash, and today you turn 10 years old, Geometry Dash, and I love you. You are probably admittedly my favorite game of all time, and I don't know if that'll ever change. I'm 20 years old, and right now I have no plans of stopping this game ever, because it will always be there for me, and I'll always be coming back to it.